Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by Paul Kelly, and we're here reacting to what we've just seen from Altrincham as Zach Miller has retained his Commonwealth featherweight title in a very entertaining domestic clash against Leon Woodstock. 117, 111 and 117, 112 by two, I believe the cards were. But yeah, a really bloody affair, Paul. A really entertaining affair, to be honest with you. Just give us your instant reaction to that one. I'm curious to see how you had it and how you thought it went compared to your pre-fight kind of prediction for this one.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as always, mate. Really, really good fight, first and foremost. Like it was a bit of a bloodbath. I mean, did you see the state of the canvas at the end? It was incredible, and like what would how many cuts on his face. I think I have no problems with. I think those scorecards are fairly good, to be honest. I got one. Put it this way, right? You're never gonna with Leon Woodstock, right? You might win every round, but you're gonna be made to work extremely hard for every round. I think he's like his pressure is almost like it would make you it kind of makes you look bad. So I think that Miller definitely won. It was a fairly convincing winner. But Woodstock was always there, making him work for it. And yeah, I think that those type of fights. I think Carl Frampton made a good point on commentary. He said you don't want too many of those fights. If you're Zach Miller, you don't want too many of those fights because you did take a lot of punishment, but also you want a few of those fights because you learn a lot. So it's kind of a it's kind of one of those double-edged sword kind of thing. But yeah, I think it was a really good fight. No, I think the scorecards were fairly accurate. Maybe would have been maybe a round kinder to Woodstock if I was really going to pick bones in the scorecards. But a really good fight, and yeah, I think it's one of them where even though he's lost and what he lost his last fight against Kurt Walker as well, like I feel like Leon Woodstock's stock has almost gone up. I think at a certain level he does damage, and he's like suppose it depends what he wants to do. You might not want to become that gatekeeper, but like he's a perfect opponent for if you have a prospect looking to take that next step, kind of beyond the Commonwealth British level, whatever it is, because he's going to make you work hard for every single round. He's relentless, he's fit, he comes forward, and it was a really entertaining fight, mate. But yeah, Zach Miller, a deserved winner for me.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, to be honest. It was an absolute bloodbath. As you say, the state of the canvas after it was was a sight to behold, to be honest with you. But yeah, very entertaining fight. Can't disagree with what you said. Leon Woodstock, my God, tough as tough as a coffin nail. He really is. I think, yeah, I was gonna ask you the question of what's next. Is that it for Woodstock? But I think, yeah, as you said, kind of a benchmark fight for people before they kind of get to domestic level, British level. I think it'd be a real test for up and coming prospects. But yeah, credit to Zach Miller, gets the job done. As you say, maybe a round or two kinder to Woodstock on the cards, but the right man definitely won. So yeah, you kind of touched on what you think could be next for Woodstock. Let's kind of move on to Zach Miller now. He's on the verge of a big fight. Logically, you could say a Nathaniel Collins rematch. That was his last loss. A close loss, it was a majority decision. Of course, Collins now challenging for the European title against Cristobal Lorente in a few weeks' time, which would be a good fight. Is Zach Miller kind of next in line, would you say, for the winner of that Collins Lorente fight? And how would you see that playing out?
Yeah, I think that's a good. It's a good shout, really, isn't it? I mean, obviously it was a close fight the first time around, and then it almost like it's a loss that's aged quite well for Zach Miller. I think if there is such a thing, because like Nathaniel Collins, sorry, has been looked really good since then. Looked pretty explosive since then. Um, I would make him favourite to win that European title. I think he will come through that. Yeah, it's a good fight. If you're Zach Miller, that's a great fight. But I think if you're Nathaniel Collins, maybe I suppose you maybe might want to hang about at European level for a few. So it would make sense. I think there's obviously the narrative there with it being obviously it would be a rematch, of course, and obviously with both being Queensbury men and stuff, like it's easy to make. The other one I did kind of think of, which who's only now new at featherweight, was obviously at super bantamweight and was flying, was of course Liam Davis. Um, he then beat he Kurt Walker just beat Leon Woodstock and then got beat by Liam Davis. Liam Davis looked really good. I think it was at his debut up at featherweight, perhaps. He looked pretty good. I don't know whether he's maybe looking beyond that or if he's maybe going to be next in line to challenge the winner of the Collins fight. But I think they kind of domestically, in the featherweight division, those kind of guys are all around the British, between British and European level, as it stands. So like even like a little round, I know it doesn't work like this boxing, but we round robin between them. A couple of those guys fight each other. I think there's definitely interesting fights there to make it 126 pounds domestically, and Zach Miller can be involved in a few. Yeah, I like the Collins rematch. I would probably still favour Collins to be honest. Although I do think Miller has made improvement, and then obviously the Liam Davis one as well. I mean, I thought Kurt Walker was going to beat Liam Davis. Liam Davis looked really good in my opinion that night. Kind of answered a few questions, and I do think that he would probably beat Zach Miller as well. But I don't want this to, that's me picking Zach Miller to lose both of those fights I've mentioned, but definitely in them, close fights, fights I want to see. But yeah, no shortage of potential opponents for him anyway.
Yeah, again, it's hard to disagree with that. Liam Davis is another great shout. I think Liam Davis is a brilliant fighter. Of course, the loss to Masood, no shame in that. Another top operator, but yeah, looked excellent against Kurt Walker, and I still think Liam Davis could be a real player at 126. But yeah, as you say, the narrative was maybe there for a rematch with Collins. I do think he beats Lorente. Close fight first time around, but I do agree with what you say, kind of in terms of Davis and Collins, that they may be looking, no disrespect, a bit higher up than a Zach Miller, but they are two very good potential options. I'd pick Collins and Davis to beat Miller as well. No shame in that though. Yeah, I just think Collins has improved massively as well since the first fight. Miller's been on a good run of form. He beat Masoud Abdullah last time out as well, which is a good domestic win. But yeah, a lot of good options there, and I think retaining his Commonwealth title maybe does leave him on the verge of a European title shot against the winner of that. Yeah, so just quickly before we wrap up talking about potential options, there's a very interesting featherweight clash in my hometown coming up in a couple of weeks. Michael Conlan, Jack Bateson. Could that be another potential opponent, the winner of that one?
Yeah, I suppose it could be. I think Michael Collins a big favourite there. I do expect him to win. I've heard rumblings that Michael Conlan and Josh Warrington is going to happen at the end of the year if Conlan beats Jack Bateson. I heard that from Josh Warrington's dad himself. So yeah, I think if everything goes to plan, that fight's going to happen. But yeah, it's not a bad fight. It's a big. Say if you're Zach Miller and you're getting a Michael Conlan, like okay, he's lost a few times now and he's been stopped a few times, but like Michael Conlan's still a massive name. He's a big draw in Belfast, and that would be a good scalp to have on your record. So yeah, I think that is a. I suppose it's a big fight. But I don't really see it happening to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's unlikely myself, but I thought I'd throw it in there as another potential option. But yeah, there's a lot of fascinating options for Zach Miller. That's all we have time for. Myself and Paul reacting to what we've just seen from Altrincham, as Zach Miller has retained his Commonwealth featherweight title in a very entertaining domestic clash against Leon Woodstock, won by unanimous decision to keep hold of the Commonwealth strap. Absolute bloodbath, great fight, deserved winner. So yeah, let us know what you think. What did you make of that fight? And most importantly now, what's next? What's the ceiling for Zach Miller? What potential opponents would you like to see him face? Get involved in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to drop a like on the video first of all. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing if you're not doing so already. And follow us on all social media. Paul, it was a pleasure. Take care.
Top man, mate. All the best.